my God, why have you forsaken me? If this is what Jesus was communicating, woe is me, then that means Jesus was being his purely human self, and that he had forgotten everything he had said and taught in his lifetime. Fortunately, I do not have to use my imagination to figure this out. After some research, I learned what many of us know by now, that Jesus was not calling out God for allowing this to happen. Jesus reached back into the far corners of his mind and called on the very thing that gave him comfort in times of trouble. Solace in moments of distress, peace in the midst of turmoil. Jesus called on Scripture. And not just any scripture. He didn't reach into the first 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch. When you're in seminary, that's the first thing you learn, right? The first 5 books are called the Pentateuch. He didn't pull a verse from any of the major or minor prophets. Jesus reached into the Psalms of David. And not just any psalm, but the 22nd Psalm. Why the 22nd Psalm? Look, 22 is an important number for me. I was born on the 22nd. Nikki and I's first date was on the 22nd. We got married on the 22nd. We live on the 22nd floor. So 22 must be an important number, but that's not why Jesus chose it. So I'm trying to figure out, well, why did Jesus pick 22? So I read it meticulously. Jesus, after being beaten and whipped, a crown of thorns pressed down on his head, nailed to the cross, and at the point of asphyxiation, somewhere before unconsciousness, brain damage, and death, Jesus not only called out these words, but Jesus led a worship service. Yes, you see, the custom of worship leaders was to say the first line of a psalm, and then the people would respond by completing it. Jesus wasn't complaining that God had forgotten him. Jesus was reminding the crowd that this is how it was supposed to go down in order to fulfill the prophecy. I wonder what words come out of your mouth when you're faced with excruciating pain in untenable circumstances. Can I be honest with y'all? Whoa. I want to be honest with y'all. I have got to learn and memorize some more scripture. Because the utterances that come out of my mouth when I'm in excruciating pain or untenable circumstances are not as eloquent as the Psalms of David. But Jesus knew the scripture. Jesus knew it had to go down this way, the way that David described it. What Jesus taught us in this moment is that when we're feeling this way, remember that God is still God. The narrative of this day was written centuries before. David penned this over 1,000 years before Jesus' death. Jesus fulfilled the prophecy. Why? Because what Jesus was doing is what Jesus always did. What he had always done and will always do. Jesus was teaching us. I believe that if he had the breath in his body, he might have said the whole scripture. But what's even better is that every person who was there that day, who believed in God and committed these scriptures to memory, recited the remainder of it either aloud or to themselves, and therefore helped deliver Jesus' eulogy.